Welcome to Emerald Gaming YouTube channel. I'm Mauricio, and I come to you thankfully with another build that I've been asked to do for a customer. It's going to be a i9-10900 non-overclocking, so it's a locked CPU, and that's ultimately because the customer is not going to be doing any overclocking of the CPU or GPU, so that also leads to some savings for the individual. It's gonna have a Rockstrix B560 motherboard, and again, the B560s don't have overclocking built into them. Thankfully, we were able to find the graphics card that he wanted. It took a little bit of time, but we were able to secure a Asus Rockstrix RTX 3070 for him. The computer is going to have about 32 gigabytes of Corsair Vengeance Pro RAM. It's gonna have two 1 terabyte Samsung SSDs. This one is gonna be a air cooled computer. So for that one, we're gonna be using a Cooler Master MA. Um, the height of it is about 6 inches, so we're right there on the crisp of how much can fit into this case that we have. It's also going to have the Thermaltake 850 watt gold rated PSU. I'm a really big fan of the Thermaltake PSUs. I know I've built about 4 builds at this point, and they just don't let me down and don't let the customer down. So I look forward to using that. This one's also have Windows 10 Home Edition, 64-bit. Hopefully, you guys enjoy this unboxing, especially for the future owner of this system. Hope you guys enjoy, and let's go ahead and move over to the workstation so we can start unboxing and making some noise. So we'll go ahead and move some of this stuff out of the way, and then here's the graphics card that he's going to be using, and here's the B560. And we'll go ahead and get started, and opening up this box right here. So this is a mid tower as well. He wanted to save space in his home and his work area that he uses for school and other things that he decides to do. It's also his game room, so that way he has a lot more room. I know that one of the last computers I built was a huge full tower case from Thermaltake that looked like a helicopter, and that customer still loves his computer. I still talk to him often about it. So hopefully this owner will also enjoy this computer once we get it into his hands, once everything's complete. There we go. I didn't notice that they have the thing right there where it says the maker of the computer case right there, Mucinex. Mucitex. That's pretty cool. Put their branding in there. And then here are the 3 fans that come in the front. And then air intake is going to be on the sides here. So it's going to suck in air and then push it up to the top and to the rear. And then here's the back area of it as well. Got these 2 thumb screws in the back right here. Now the one thing is about these mid towers is that they're a little bit they're more compact, of course, but they also add a little bit to how hard it's going to be to do cable management. But it's not too bad. So here we have all the cables that already come with it. Move them around. This is what I was interested in, is the controller that this case comes with. Might be somewhat of a proprietary fan controller here for the fans, RGB. So it's going to be SATA power connected. So you got the 6 fans here. Here's the controller that's going to go into the motherboard. So that way we don't have to use the button. It does have a button for the LED control here for the colors. But, like I said, this one will allow us to control it through the motherboard. So that's really good. And it makes it a lot easier for somebody. They also put 3M tape, adhesive tape on the controller. It almost looks like a controller from Cooler Master, but this one's a lot smaller and probably is a proprietary controller as well. So that makes it a lot easier though. Less cables running around. There's a little bit of channel here for cable management as well. Down here you have 2 slots for 2 3.5-inch hard drives. You have 1, 2, 3 spots where you could put 2.5-inch SSDs. So there's tons of room. There's a good channel in here as well, so that's gonna help us out a lot when it comes to the cable management. Once we get everything in there. So so far it looks like a solid case. Not too bad. It's light. That's the one thing. It is a light case. So that's a good thing as well. So that way it can be easily moved around as he needs it. Especially for delivery. It'll make that easier as well. So once we get everything going, we'll check it out and plug in the power supply unit once we get that out, and make sure that all these fans turn on and that their LED works. So we'll just set that over here for the side for now. So let's go ahead and move on to the Rockstrix B568. And again, he is not keen to wanting to overclock, so this is a perfect motherboard for him. It comes with at a good price, and we'll give him everything that he wants. I know his area where he lives, they are starting to roll out that 2.5 gig internet speeds. So we made sure that this one was the one that had the appropriate Ethernet port or connection for it, so that way he could take full advantage of those internet speeds once they get to his home. So right there, cables over here that usually come with it. This one is a little different, so the antennas is going to be this right here. So it's not just going to be 2 little coaxial antennas. It's pretty much a base that goes on top, kind of like the ones that are in top of vehicles for XM satellite radio. So that one will sit out there for that. This one does come with 3 SATA cables for your hard drives. USB-C, oh, that's neat, with their branding on there for the USB-C. And of course a couple zip ties, some 3M sticky, a Republic of Gamers keychain. Cool. You got your disc here for the BIOS updates if you need it. Whole bunch of stickers. Nothing wrong with some nifty stuff on there. Put that on the back of his vehicle or glass window or on the case. We'll see if we put some on there. And here's the motherboard. We've got 2 slots for the M.2s, the PCIe right here for the graphics card, 2 channels, 24 connector pin here, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 SATA connections here. So this motherboard has everything that he's going to need. Here's the USBs, HDMIs if you want to use the built-in graphics on the CPU. like we said, this one's gonna have the discrete graphics card, so he won't have to plug anything in there unless he really wants to. And I just noticed this one does say that it's Windows 11 ready, so that's pretty good. We must have bought it at the right time. Now go ahead and check out the graphics card, see how this one looks. And like I said, we were lucky to be able to find this one as fast as we did, and exactly which one he wanted, seeing as the GPU shortages are still going crazy. And then this one also is the light hash rate as well. So no frills here. It's a hefty GPU, of course. It's a nice looking graphics card though. Really nice looking. 3 fans, RGB, of course. Got the little protector there. Three fans. Really nice looking graphics card. So that's how it's gonna sit inside of the computer, of course. So he's gonna get to see that all the time. Looks really nice. So this lights up here, and I'm pretty sure that the motherboard will be able to control that and what colors come out on it as well. So it's a beefy one, of course, but you know it's gonna do good in his system. So there it is. There's a RTX 3070. And here's the CPU. It's gonna go into his computer. And if I remember, this one here comes with a cooler from Intel. So nice and protected. i9 10900. And the fun part is here's the cooler that comes with the CPU. Oh, well, comes with thermal paste already applied, so that's nice. Save you, a couple dollars if you wanted to use this one. Go ahead and put that one right here for now, so that way we can actually compare to the cooler that we went with for this build. And again, this one was going to be a air-cooled system. And here's the cooler master, all the cables. So this one is the Cooler Master Master Air MA620M. So right there you got some RGB, and this one's also going to be able to be controllable through the motherboard. So hopefully he'll be able to sync all these things together to give a light show like he would like to do. And the cool thing about this one is kind of a pull push. So the air cooler, the fan is in the middle here, so it pushes and pulls in through all the fins to cool the CPU. and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so 12 pipes that go through the copper area to try to keep it cool. So I'm really excited to run this and do some stress tests on Cinebench or and see what the temperatures look like for this. So you can always go stock, at least with the ones that come with it, or you could go with something that makes sure that you get those boosts that you want from your CPU. So big difference, you know. But depending on what the person's gonna use their computer for, that one that came with the CPU can be more than enough. But for the applications that I know the customer is gonna want to do with this one, we need to go with something a little bit beefier than the one that's included with the CPU. Let's go ahead and put this back in here for now. And go ahead and put the CPU back in here. Here's the RAM. Like I said, DDR4, 4 sticks, totaling 32 gigabytes at 3000 megahertz. I use these in my rig as well, and I'm a fan of them. They haven't let me down at all in everything that I do. So they're white, and the tops of them so that's what they look like right there, and then this is what lights up when they're mounted into the motherboard. So like I said, 4 sticks that go into the computer. And then here are the two 1 terabyte SSDs that are going to go into it. And then he's getting a 980 Pro NVMe M.2. And this one's 500 gigabyte. I think I might have said that it was 250, but it's actually 500. And like I said, that's where the operating system is going to be installed. So there's the computer. There's the unboxing of all the stuff that's gonna go into the computer. I think I did not mention this, but I like naming the computers with the individual, and we went with Bolt Up Reloaded for this computer. We went through a couple of different times to make sure that we got all the parts that he wanted in his computer. So I felt adequate that we also changed the name of it as we kept moving forward. And he's a big Chargers fan, so Bolt Up Reloaded tickled his fancy. So thanks. I appreciate you guys tuning in to watch this unboxing for Bolt Up Reloaded, and I'm looking forward to sharing the build video once it's complete. So thanks again, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.